Hi, I'm Nate Shortsleeve, and this is the Tumbler engine. Something I've been working on over the course of a couple weeks. Remember, it's a work in progress, but this is my 2D game engine, and there are a couple of subsystems in here that I'd like to narrate while displaying for you. First of which is, first let me explain a couple things here. I have some basic physics. It's not done, but right now I've disabled gravity for this player so that I can traverse the terrain, and I have square collision detection, so anything that has four sides I can collide with. Also, I can collide with the level, which is defined via pixels. It's a little bit more complicated, but it's essentially an extension of that theory. Right here is the frames per second, which currently reside at a cool 59 FPS. Your video might not be that fast, but you can download a build of everything that I'm going to be showing you here in a link provided probably in the description of this video or at my portfolio if you're looking at it there. The first thing I'd like to show you is the entity numbers here. The numbers hovering above these little guys' heads and that mysterious thing over there are the entity list indices for these entities. So this would be entity 1, entity 2, entity 3, and entity 0. It's important to note this because these need to be destroyed at certain conditions are met. So for instance, if I were to shoot entity 3 here so many times that his life goes down to 0, then he needs to be destroyed, and the memory that he occupies needs to be deallocated. That's also important when creating particles, because particles only last for a certain amount of time or are destroyed when another condition is met. So this leads me into the particle system that I implemented right here, and you can see that these also have numbers that are above them, right? And it looks like they're not lasting past 11 entities on the screen at once. Not necessarily on the screen, but like in the game, you can see that they are. So I mentioned if I shoot this guy enough, I think he's got like a life of 100, and these particles are, I think they hurt by like 30 or something. If I shoot him 4 times, there, he's dead, he's gone. Now, if I shoot this one here, this entity number 1 here, his memory is going to be deallocated, and this guy is going to become entity number 1 because this is a one-dimensional list, and in order to minimize the amount of memory that takes up, that is being occupied in this game, it's a necessity. So if I shoot this guy and eliminate him, the other guy becomes 1. You see? So the list has become smaller. In addition to the particle system, I also have an interesting level editing system, and I guess you could say a creative solution to having to make a level editor. I've attempted to make some level editors in the past, and I've been somewhat successful in creating rudimentary tile editors, but it was a task that I really did not want to get involved with because of the sheer span of time and work that it would be involved in creating an external tool. To that end, I decided to read in image files and use those as levels. So what you're looking at here is just a series of images that I've converted to STL format and displayed on the screen here. I can show you these images right here. There they are. This pink color here is something called a color key, and its only significance is that in order to circumvent the use of transparencies, which takes up a lot of information per second, you just say, okay, this color is going to be invisible. You're not going to render this, which means that you can render stuff behind it or in front of it. Doesn't really matter. You will not see whatever occupies this pink pixel. Let's see if I can show you. Yeah, see, you don't see any pink on the screen here. It's just invisible. It's gone. But this is the level. This is all the stuff that goes into actually making the level. It's just a ping file. And this is handy because my level editor is essentially Photoshop or whatever image editor I want to use. I don't need to program an external tool. I just create my levels in Photoshop or any imaging editing program. So this is the basic level I've been interacting with. You can see, I guess I'll go to the ground here and show you collide with some stuff. There you go. See, he's colliding. He's stuck on the crooked brush strokes that I made in 5 minutes. I have to apologize for the art. It was not my intention to work heavily on the art. Moreover, to get the underlying technology done as quick as possible and in a state that I could show and stable. Of course, stable is very important. So, in addition to this level right here, this nice, beautiful, obviously beautiful level, I also have a background image that you've seen here, which is non-interactive, but just something to make whatever you're creating nice, whatever the player wants to play in nice. And I also have a foreground. This is something that's rendered last. Excuse me. Something that's rendered last over every other entity on the screen and all the other level components. And I also have this other thing called the destruction map, which defines the areas of the level which you want to be indestructible. This will come into play when I showcase the terrain deformation, which you've probably seen a little bit of already because I've just been playing around in this little engine while I was talking. But you'll see here see what I mean? If I shoot a particle at anything in the level, it will interact with that level, and the particle will be destroyed. Its life will be set to 0, but it will also leave a little crater here. See, that is done because a certain diameter is set here, 32 pixels wide and 32 pixels tall, which is blown up for purposes of this video and gameplay. It changes all those tiles within 32 pixels of the collision to non-solid, which means I can move freely through them. I can essentially dig tunnels through the level. But this destruction map, obviously you're going to have occasions where you want the player to go through a certain part. You don't want him to dig essentially from point A to point B and ruin the experience. So this destruction map prevents the player from destroying everything in the level and bypassing the entire thing. This would be done in cases like, I don't know, an impassable doorway or something that you want to just convince the player you're going to have to go around and perform some tasks or go through these enemies before you can proceed, not cheat. So I define this weird protrusion coming out of the ground as indestructible, and you'll see here. I shoot it, nothing happens. The entities collide with it and are destroyed, but I can't pass through it. I'm having some trouble here. But I did leave. Here it is. No, that's not it. I did leave an area down here that I could pass through, right? And here we go. You'll see that I can create a little tunnel and go through to this end over here successfully.